Good evening, everyone. I hope you're having a wonderful Friday evening. I hope you had a great week. It's been a very, very, very busy week for me. Um, Sending emails, meeting with important people, um, working on our science project here at the INIRC. It's been really hectic, but for good reasons. And tonight, Ready Network, we are going to talk about something that's very important in basic nursing practice. Um, One thing that I think that gets overlooked quite often, and the result is less than optimum patient care and poor quality. And it's also a safety issue. Again, my name is V with the Independent Nurses Integrity and Readiness Council, or INIRC. Our mission is to advance the quality, integrity, and real world readiness of nursing practice by defining clear readiness standards, promoting clinical and ethical professional conduct, and supporting evidence based frameworks that protect patients and strengthen the healthcare workforce. So, tonight, we're going to talk about handoffs. Okay? Does everybody know what a handoff is? Sometimes, as older nurses, we'll call it giving a report, to the next nurse. A handoff is not a routine interruption. It's usually done when the oncoming nurse makes her presence and the offgoing nurse, they both meet and they discuss the patient's progress or lack thereof. What I want to drive home tonight is that it is a safety moment. If you don't take anything away from this live tonight, it is a safety moment, not just hello, how are you doing? How was your shift? Um, how many admissions did you get? But it's a safety moment. It's very, very critical. The oncoming nurse needs to know what changed. Right? Can we agree about that? He or she also needs to know what matters most, what's most important about this client right now. What still needs to happen? And what things do you, as the oncoming nurse, need to escalate? A good handoff is not about saying every detail at the same volume, right? We don't want to give a thesis, dissertation. We want to know what matters most right now, what's changed, and what things you need to escalate. It's about making the risks visible. At the end of your handoff, the oncoming nurse should be able to visualize or anticipate the visible risks and make the next step very clear. If you are the one who is receiving the handoff, ask the question that closes the gap. If you're listening to your colleague and he or she is giving you report, listen for any gaps in the report, right? And ask questions. Listen with respect, but then go back. I heard that you said Mr. Brown is on a heparin drip, but I don't recall you giving me his last labs, right? That's closing the gap. If you are receiving it, pause for confirmation. Repeat what you thought you might have heard your colleague say. Respectful communication is an accountability practice because it helps another nurse act on the truth of the situation. What makes a handoff useful in your setting? Think about your setting, whether you work in a hospital, in a clinic. What makes a handoff useful in your setting? The Joint Commission defines a handoff. Listen up, guys. The Joint Commission defines a handoff as a real-time interactive process of passing patient-specific information from one caregiver or team to another. The explicit purpose of this transfer, listen to the word transfer. That means we're transferring information and accountability, is to ensure that the continuity and safety of the patient's care through the accurate sharing of clinical responsibilities. That's the Joint Commission definition. And when they come to your organization and they're doing their checks and balances, they're going to be looking for what your organization does for handoffs. Right now, I think most institutions are using SBAR, Situation Background Assessment, right? We're familiar with SBAR and recommendations. Now, these are the core tenets of handoffs. Transfer of responsibility, moving accountability from nurse A to nurse B for some or all of the aspects of patient care from one person or a group to another, either temporarily or permanently. So if you're the oncoming nurse for the 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. shift, you are the individual who is accountable for the information that you receive from the off-going nurse for those 12 hours. And maybe a little bit further. Okay? Next is interactive communication. It's a two-way real-time dialogue. Right? Two people should be talking. That allows the receiver to ask questions about it, whether or not there are any gaps or anything that you may have forgotten. It allows the receiver to ask questions and get clarifications. And then there's opportunity for discussion. Direct communication between the giver and the receiver. That's what communication is. To review the status and discuss any changes. And I want to ask this question. You may put it in the chat, put your answer in the chat. What is the one handoff detail you never want left unclear? Think about it. I'm going to give you a few minutes. Think about it and write it, jot it down, drop it in the chat. Okay? Okay. All right. Now I'm going to give you a scenario, and I want you to differentiate between a good handoff or transfer and an incomplete handoff or transfer. Okay. Are you ready? All right. Get your listening ears out. So, right now, I'm going to act as the nurse who is giving a handoff. And you're going to decide if it's a good handoff or if it's a suboptimal handoff. All right. I think I may have to put my peepers on for this one. Okay. Room 412. Mr. Alvarez, post-op day 1 from our right total hip replacement. He's on Lovenox for DVT prophylaxis. The last dose was given at 0600. He is a fall risks. He has a score of 65 on the Morse scale. So he has a bed alarm that is actively working as we speak. He's on a bed alarm. He needs 2-person assists for any transfer. So if you need to transfer him to the restroom, you will need someone else to assist you. He's a 2-person assist. His vitals have been stable, pain control at a 3 with oxycodone. His last dose was given at 0900. He's NPO after midnight for his follow-up x-ray at 7 a.m. tomorrow. He has no known allergies. His family is aware, and his daughter will be here around 6 for dinner. Only outstanding information is his H&H is due to result at any time. His hemoglobin in hematocrit is due to result at any time. The surgeon wants to see it before deciding on discharge. Okay, now let's listen to the other handoff, and I want you to decipher which is best for this client. Room 412, Mr. Alvarez, hip replacement, patient, doing fine. Vitals are stable, pains control. He's due for his next pain around 1 o'clock. Nothing major is going on. Pretty routine night. And that's it. So I want you to drop in the chat the differences between these handoffs. Which do you think was the better handoff? Which wasn't such a good handoff? And why? Also tell me what are some of the very important things that the not so good handoff left out. Some of the important things. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Outstanding. Thank you for your feedback. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Have you ever been in a situation where you didn't receive such a good handoff? Well, you assumed that everything that you needed was communicated to you, but you found out later in the shift that my colleague left out some very important information, and now it's causing real problems with my client, with my patient. Um, I know I have. Um, I've been away from the bedside for quite some time, but I do remember receiving some reports that led me astray. Luckily, I was always that resilient nurse to um, go back and investigate and find out how we can get this train back on the track. Um, Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for responding. Outstanding. Great. Now, there are some ways that we can always better or make our handoff just a little bit more fine tuned. So we should always look at that. Always look at that, because the ultimate goal, right here, we talked about that, is patient safety. It's a patient safety issue. Now let's look at, let me put my peepers back on. Let's look at this scenario. We're talking about a gentleman who's one day post-op from a total right hip replacement. He is on Lovenox. What is Lovenox? Tell me in the chat. I know you know. I know you guys are high-speed nurses, right? It was last given to him at 6 o'clock in the morning. Right. So what does that tell you? That's one great piece of information that the nurse gave you. He is on a blood thinner. Okay? He's a fall risk. And the two don't go very well together, right? He's on a blood thinner and he's a fall risk. Okay? Very important information. Right? He's 65 on the Morse scale. So he has a bed alarm. We are stacking safety on top of safety for this individual. If Mr. Alvarez gets a little antsy and tries to get out of that bed alarm is going to let us know, right? And we can go and hopefully prevent him from harming himself. He needs 2 assists. This is important as well. Okay? A nurse goes in by herself, tries to assist him to the little boy's room, and then we have a fall. Because you were told that he is 2 assists. This is all great information. All great information. Okay? Stable vitals. Stable? Good. I like that. But I'm a little bit, I like to ask further. Could you give me the last blood pressure and the pulse, maybe temperature? Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. His pain is controlled with the 3 on oxycodone. Great. He is on pain medicine. And when he received his last dose, right? So I don't give him his next dose before he can actually have it. So thank you for telling me when he can have his next pain medication. He's NPO after midnight for a follow-up x-ray. That's extremely important. If the client consumes anything after a certain time, the x-ray can't be done. And now we're delaying his care because we didn't keep him NPO. Okay? He doesn't have any allergies. That's always important. I always start with that. Right? He has family. That's always good to know. Right? There is someone that is actively involved in Mr. Alvarez's care. His daughter will be here around 6 p.m. for dinner. Right? It says the only outstanding, this is where it gets good, and this is where the oncoming nurse needs to follow up. His H&H is due to result at any time. And if you're like me, I'm sitting in front of that computer, clicking and clicking and clicking for that result, right? We need to know what those numbers are. Because it says that the surgeon wants to see it before deciding on discharge timing. Why is that important? I keep forgetting I'm speaking to licensed nurses and not students. I'm sorry. Forgive me for my Socratic questioning. This is important. If his H&H is too low, we have to delay his discharge for just a little bit, right? Until we get those numbers up. Now, the incomplete handoff. I wouldn't even call this incomplete. This is empty. Tells us that he had a hip replacement. He's doing fine. What does that mean? Doing fine, what? He likes golf. What do you mean he's doing fine? Right? Vitals are stable. Again, for me, I want to know what they are. Pain's controlled. That's good. I'm glad that his pain is controlled. But what is he taking? And when's the next time he can get it? Okay? So the second scenario leaves out the anticoagulant, right? We can point that out. It leaves out the fall risk status and the precautions that need to be taken, the NPO order, and the pending H&H, any one of which is the kind of gap that can turn a fall into a bleed, a missed procedure hold, or a med error. Is everybody tracking? Now, let's say Mr. Alvarez somehow got out of the bed. The alarm went off, but by the time you got there, he had already hit the floor. He hit his head. He has an active bleed. What are the legal issues here? Put them in the chat. We were taught in nursing school, I think in fundamentals, about do no harm, right? Neglect, those torts, remember? I want you to write in the chat what this could look like for both these nurses, not just the oncoming, but the nurse that gave the report. What can that look like later on down the line? How marred can that get? So now we've got our safety people involved. We've got our risk management individuals involved. We've got our lawyers at the hospital involved. We've got our CEO at the hospital that's involved. And that's just the small hill. Now we've got an angry family, as they should be, who is also talking to their lawyer. All because we did not follow and we did not take this handoff as a patient safety issue. A handoff is patient safety, guys. Just go ahead and sew it on up. Patient safety. Thank you. Thank you so much. You're very kind. Super. I love the way you think. Great, great, outstanding. Now, I want you to save this as a handoff reminder. Okay. And I'd also want you to go to our website to find out more about what we're doing. We are engaged in some really heavy scientific stuff at the INIRC. There you can find other resources. You can have a voice in nursing's future, contribute to frontline expertise in initiatives, contribute to frontline initiatives designed around the realities of nursing practice. You can help advance nursing practice and nursing practice safety. Participate in work focused on identifying readiness gaps, strengthening nurses' abilities to recognize risks, escalate concerns, and act effectively. Guys, our organization is, I know there are organizations that are for nurses, but this, the INIRC, is for nurses. You can move beyond competency alone, help establish practice readiness as a distinct and measurable dimension of safe practice. That's exactly what we're working on right now. We need your expertise. Right now, we're needing bedside nurses who work in ICU, med-surg, the PACU, pediatrics, emergency. We need your expertise. We need your input on this project that we're working on right now. The INIRC also helps you to engage in professional scholarship. This is where I want to really let you know how our organization can help build you up professionally. You can get the opportunity to participate in research, evidence-informed initiatives, educational activities, right? And the biggest project that we're working on right now, I'm not going to say it just yet, but you can find out more about it. You can collaborate across specialties, connect with nurses, educators, uh, researchers, simulation experts. I mean, a plethora of, of, of individuals. But what I want you to know is our organization is to strengthen the profession without blaming nurses or organizations. That is not what we're about. We recognize that nurse performance is influenced by both individual readiness and environmental factors. Come and be a part of something new. I want you to use that QR code, go to our website, read what we're about, and if you're interested, become a member. The INIRC is a place for nurses who don't just want to work within the profession. They want to help shape what safer, stronger, and nursing practice looks like. Until next time, guys, we wish you all the best in your endeavors, in your nursing practice. Those of you that are returning to school this semester, I am one of them. We wish you luck with that as well. Thank you so much for tuning in. And we look forward to seeing you on the next rodeo.